Thanks for your permission so that we can go now. You ready, buddy?
Yeah.
What about my sweat equity?
Ooh. Ooh.
Sweat equity. My sweat equity.
What?
My sweat equity.
Turn down real low. This is an Eric original.
Eric Original Sweat Equity Podcast. Can I get a
What about my
hotty toddy? God almighty. I almost timed that out just perfectly. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, congratulations.
You know how amazing I am at that?
No, not really.
Not that much.
Sucks.
We were
The hottie toddy sucks.
dictating on otter.ai. I have such a boner for that dictation app.
Accent on the dick.
Dating. I was thinking about it. I wrote 3 pieces I'm trying to write some content, and I go, just try to do it while you're walking the dogs. And I ended up writing like 3 different blog posts just by dictating for 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah? What were the blog posts on?
One was about my love for otter.ai. I'm like, okay, try to think of stuff that you're thinking about, stuff that we're going to talk about on the podcast all the time, but also, extrapolate something after we've talked about it on the podcast. It's not just a dead subject.
So you used Otter AI to dictate a blog post about Otter.ai.
Yeah, man. Look, they showed us some love. I like that out of a company. So part of
That's
my thing
true.
with picking apps or picking a subscription service that we're going to use for business, and this is something that people should think about if they're trying to do their own thing. We picked Squarespace not only because we like them as a website content management system over WordPress, Weebly, Wix, but also because I see what they're doing on a bigger level, right?
Mhm.
I see what they're doing, making deals with Pinterest and G Suite,
Sponsoring a lot of podcasts.
Right. They're
Which is still
first
bullshit.
movers.
They don't sponsor us.
We'll get there.
I don't know why.
It's a goal.
All
It's
I
a
do is
goal.
curse their name every time it comes up.
I know we lost the Gimlet competition they had, but they're making you can see they're making these first mover audience deals.
Right.
Their commercials weren't broad like GoDaddy or my favorite was web.com used to say, we'll make your Facebook page, which was kind of like a little bit of me doing Tokabaga, our consulting company, the office we're in, where the studio is embedded. But I thought about that idea of like giving some kind of small business service but being able to talk to anybody about just getting that stuff up.
Mhm.
But if you're so broad like that, then
yeah, it doesn't hit with anybody.
there's no client service aspect. So my thing was like, I like what Squarespace is doing in the similar respect. Once you told me Otter.ai showed us a little love, I looked into them a little bit more. I don't know shit about AI or synthetic intelligence or any of that.
Synthetic intelligence.
Yeah. So
is that the new buzzword?
So they say AI is kind of a misnomer term. Synthetic intelligence is how we're all going to die by robots and stuff.
Oh. Why?
Because that's not because AI is like it's a learning machine, but we still have to. I think we still have to interact with it. But see, this is where I'm going to.
Synthetic is building on itself.
It's literally like the robot. Yeah, building its own robot.
Yeah,
I think
when they start to make their own robot languages.
No human involved. I think.
Yeah. That is the future.
Because artificial intelligence also can mean something else. I forget. But anyway, you're going to see that as a marketing term. But I like using that. I think we should probably start incorporating that in some of our marketing stuff somehow.
I think we have synthetic intelligence.
Well, yeah, that's weed.
Oh, yeah.
Or mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, there's no rules against cheating on thinking.
Black tar heroin.
Nah. That just makes you go to sleep.
Well,
I think.
Depends.
From what I've heard.
Are you awake now? You don't even know.
I don't know.
Is this reality?
I mean,
are you in Fight Club?
It is to me. It's my reality.
It's your truth.
Now, whether or not you're real, I don't know.
We might be in Westworld kind of thing right now. Arena simulation. This is getting down a bad road.
Yeah. We're going to need to block off a few more hours if we're going to go into Westworld territory.
So, Otter.ai, I think I was talking to a friend on the phone yesterday. He was giving me some help on some business stuff. And I was like, if I'm on my game, I think I looked up the stat 8 times faster to dictate your email and get good at that. It's just training yourself to do it and being that psycho in the office that's dictating stuff.
I've seen more resistance to dictation
because they don't work. They don't work.
I mean,
I remember 15 years ago, there's a Super Bowl commercial with a dude who was like talking to his computer,
yeah,
and I was like, "Fuck, that's awesome!"
Yeah.
It never ever worked like that.
yeah. No, but it's just like in general. I don't know if it's because of that many people got traumatized by not
Yes.
working.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, I'll tell you that drag and dictate is okay. You have to calibrate it correctly. It doesn't get my mumble. It doesn't get. It's good, but it's not. This is better. Otter.ai is better than that, and it's a lot less expensive.
Did you calibrate your Otter.ai?
Yeah, you have to with all these things because
Yeah.
how is it going to detect how you say data or data,
Mm-hmm.
right? Divisive.
Oh, if that thing's so smart, it should know it on itself.
No, it will. It'll start learning how you say that in context.
Fine.
So that's the AI.
I'm
part.
sorry!
But what's cool is I look at the transcripts that we used to do with drag and dictate and drop them in. Sometimes I'll drop in the audio if I haven't been thoughtful enough to do it as we're rolling. And this is so much better. And it'll break up your dialogue against my dialogue.
That is cool.
Like a script.
Yeah, that is cool.
So
It's a movie script.
So we haven't been flopping them in, I'm guessing.
Operation Dumbo Drop, the
and
movie.
it also pulls all the keywords that we use.
That's huge. Yeah.
That's huge because the part writing content is the technical part sucks.
I saw one of them that had the keyword rundown, and it was like one of them was a normal business term, and the second one was shit. It's like cool.
As my dad says, that means we have a bad vocabulary repertoire.
It's bad.
No, he would be
not
like,
good.
You need a better vocabulary." I'm like, yeah, but shit's
If you wanted to make an impact, he'd say you need a more expensive,
expensive,
expansive.
expansive. Yeah,
You can go to Walmart.
Dad, are
it's
you having
too
a stroke?
expansive.
So that's enough of a plug for a non-sponsor. But hey, Otter.ai people, you want to sponsor this podcast? We are your zealots. For
We are
this.
your bears to your otters.
So I went from Drag and Dictate, paid $300 for that. It doesn't sync with the mobile app unless you pay $15, which I think is what Otter is. And then
Did it do it real time? It didn't do that either, did it?
no, that's
Otter.ai is doing it right now.
It's a cool parlor trick. When I'm doing meetings and I show people this, they're like, that's how that commercial was 15 years ago.
That's the other part you failed to mention is that when you get these apps, you want the parlor trick effect.
Oh yeah, I want some pizzazz. I want to show people like, hey, if we're doing something that kind of some people get, taken aback a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Confused.
If I'm like, hey, I'm going to record this session because they don't, everybody's fear that we're going to live stream it. And I'm like, don't worry, no one.
Don't worry, we don't even live stream ourselves.
Right.
Facebook.
We're
720.
We'll get back
Bullshit.
there. No, there's a way to do it. I contend there's a way to do it through live stream. We just need
Probably.
there's always some YouTube nerd that has hacked it and figured it out. That's how I did it originally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did it. Yeah. Well, how did you do it?
You do it what's called a stream key. So if anybody has a Facebook page, you can go in the settings and go to like video or live video or something like that. There's a tab in your settings if you own a Facebook page.
And that was the RTMP server thing?
Yeah. So
Okay.
So
Nerd talk.
Yeah, but I mean that's if anybody wants to know that's the way to do 1080p live streaming. That used to be a way to hack around this before the Mevo camera and all these other things came out.
Yeah. Now we're waiting to go live until we get the good Wi-Fi back.
Hey, if you're listening and want to do something on the cheap, I recommend OBS. The free it's open broadcast software. It's free. It's open source, so that means it's kind of a bunch of people kind of contributing to it.
Yeah, it's similar to what we have with the live stream studio. It's just not. You have to know how to optimize it and build it kind of yourself, like what's going in and all that stuff.
As is everything, right? If it's free, it's going to be a lot more time.
Yeah.
And if there's rarely free that is easy when you're trying to get something
Without add-ons.
Well, what's the
in-app purchases?
What's the old freemium model? What's the old saying of like there's no free lunches in business?
That's it.
Yeah, I mean there's no free lunch, and I didn't know what that meant forever. I thought that was dumb. I was like, okay, school gives free lunch.
Yeah.
It was like 5th grade.
And then your parents, the taxpayers, say that ain't free.
Yeah, my mom's like, here's what I used to have for lunch every day because I was so gross. My eating habits.
Ugh,
And
can't wait.
my son's making me pay for it now. A bologna sandwich.
Step one, gross.
Yep. White bread,
Okay.
mayonnaise, bologna.
Ew.
Not only that, in the Florida sun, that bag sits out
Nice
there,
hot
gets a
mayonnaise
little hot.
sandwich.
It's,
Ooh.
that's why my and one nickname is Hot Mayo.
Your and one nickname.
Yeah.
What, did you put that in an app and it spit it out? Where'd you
No,
get it?
that's been I'm because I'm so gross.
Oh.
Damn.
It's pretty gross. Grossest nickname I've heard.
That's pretty fucking good, guys.
Yeah.
Eric's not laughing. I know you're thinking that's pretty clever if you play basketball.
White mayo?
I'm like, I always fuck up this guy's name. Rafir Alston. What was he?
Rafer Alston?
Yeah, I always call him Rafir.
The Rucker?
He was the Rucker?
He was
I thought he was hot sauce.
The Rucker is a basketball place in New York.
Oh, no.
It's like a
Rucker Park.
Rucker Park.
He's not the Rucker, though.
I don't know. I just
He's hot sauce.
I am impressed with myself that I even knew that the guy was associated with it. And I might be wrong.
So white. Come on, man.
I used to read, what was the basketball magazine? That had all and one ads.
Well, I used to read King. I don't know.
That's not it. It's like Bounce or something. It don't matter.
It's terrible. That's when magazines really started to go niche, and then the internet came on, and it was like, whoops.
Yeah.
So, I forgot you had something. Right before the show, we did a bunch of AV stuff, and now my
Oh yeah. Well, I was
dead.
talking about. I had just got done sending off artwork for my wife's dental practice, doing direct mail
That's right. Hot
marketing.
takes on direct mail. Yeah,
So
pragmatic boner.
before we did it, I heard about. I was like, God, that I don't know how you do a direct mail deal, but that sounds like a huge pain in the ass. And then another. Oh, we forgot to mention John Paul is over there. Yeah,
Yeah, you can hear
you
that,
can
that
hear
lighter going
the
off.
lighter
Hi,
sparking.
guys.
Jesus.
Anyways, I didn't. So the U.S. Postal Service has a thing called Every Door Direct Mail. It's
They're real thirsty.
yeah, it's EDDM, and they have all these printers that they like
everything
third-party
needs an
printers.
acronym.
I know. That you basically send off your artwork, order it through these printers, and they'll send you back your mailers once you go through the whole proofing process and all that. And then if you go on the Postal Service website, they break down the different routes, and it'll say this route has this many homes, and it even has the age groups, demographics, all that stuff that you can target. As long as it's bundled up correctly, you pay online per route, I guess, and then it'll tell you which postal office it goes to get distributed out,
Okay.
and then they just put one in every mailbox. Boom,
So
boom, 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 boom.
short story is they have their own service that's pretty good direct mailer.
Yes, they
That's
have.
the whole process.
That's the idea. Is that I didn't realize how. I mean, I haven't done it yet. It might be a huge pain in the ass, but
I think you only went through that whole process for the listeners because we don't really trust the postal service, even though
Right.
if you really think about it,
I was surprised that
a stamp can get it across the country.
I know. Well, that's a whole other mind blowing thing.
Like we
how
like
are
to
they
make fun of
affording-
the postal service, but they like if you really think about what they do at
Yeah.
the cost they do it at, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, when it goes away, and the fact that the federal government has a new program that's helpful to people. Oh my God,
I
that's
know.
amazing.
I tell everybody SBA.gov really good for information about if you don't know anything about small businesses, if you don't have a business plan, like they have like a template you can fill out a form and it'll help you get that shit going. But I always go with the preface of like it actually is pretty good. It's a government site.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that, resources that they have just sitting like IRS website. It's like they answer all the questions. The website's ugly and it sucks to get around, but
that's
it's all
big.
in there.
It's big for me.
Yeah, that's why we'll end up reading articles by somebody who spits it back in language we understand.
Or just I like literally aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah,
like the IRS forms, I can't read. I think I just
they
get
do it on
zoned out.
purpose.
Yeah,
That's part of it.
That's the other That's another one.
Yeah,
We need to get your accountant back on for the hardest podcast ever.
I know. Scott,
Scott, we
Nelson,
love you.
We love you, Scott.
But you know,
I gotta call him actually.
oh yeah.
Yeah, health
So-
insurance stuff.
So direct mail, direct mailers. Here's my deal with that. They can work. I'm not a digital guy that thinks that. I used to be that. Why do that? It's pointless. We don't need to do it. And then we started really getting into this industry of integrated marketing, meaning online and offline, and cross-platform kind of retargeting, remarketing, all that stuff.
It's definitely different for your business. You know, like direct mailers for dentists is a lot different for digital services company sort of thing, because a lot of
Surprisingly, you'll let a lot of dentists fuck with your mouth.
yeah, well, yeah,
Like the loyalty game is good once you have someone, but if you don't have anybody yet,
right, yeah, they just want to be
Which-
told,
a lot of people don't.
yeah.
It feels like.
But the thing about it, it's like a mailer. Who's looking at the mailers? Because most like people our age, mailer, oh, right in the garbage. It
Yeah.
doesn't even. I mean, I was thinking about that. Like, how many of these are going to go straight in the garbage?
I want to do a class action lawsuit against the Red Plum company.
Red Cap Plumbing.
No. Red Plum, the Red Plum, something Plum that sends me all those coupons. I went so far as to like figure this out. I called them. I said, please do not send these anymore. You don't realize you sign up for other shit. Like you forward your mail. I think you get signed up for that as part of the deal.
Re-signed up.
So that's a smart way the Postal Service actually kind of found other revenue streams where you ever done the mail forwarding, it's like, oh, well, cool. Here's a bunch of upsell.
Yeah.
You want any of this? And then here's something you signed up for that you didn't know.
Yeah. Do they even ask you whether or not you want to be in it?
I don't know. But my thing is, with the Plum one, I've called and they're like, cool, it'll take 6 to 8 weeks. And I go, no, don't do that shit.
No, it doesn't. Just press enter.
No.
Just do it.
Why does it take 6 to 8 weeks? Well, there's processing.
Oh yeah. What's the process like?
Yeah. So I said, this is exactly.
I gotta push the button and then.
This is 4 or 5 years ago. I was dad mad on the phone with someone. I wish I recorded it, but that's what I should do. Every time I call customer service, I'll just record the phone call for quality assurance. I'll tell them that,
Yeah.
and then
How does it feel?
and then we can play it on here.
Yeah.
Because why not? Why not?
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Or
Let's
if they
break it
call me,
down.
I think that's legally okay.
Good.
I don't know. We need to look into that. But
Now we're trying to bait telemarketers into calling us.
no, you can do the callback number thing, or you can set
Okay.
the appointment deal. With big guys, but for mailers, let's look at the numbers game. From what I remember, you're going to send thousands out.
Yes, we're sending out 5,000 mailers.
If you get 1% contact out of that, you're fucking awesome.
Yeah,
That's what people don't get.
right.
Don't be bummed. It's a huge numbers game. It's like that friend that hits on every chick at the bar.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. You got to learn to fail, whatever. But this won't feel like failure because it'll just be like, you just won't feel anything back.
I mean,
For a
that's the part I forgot to mention is I think for the whole thing, I think for 5,000, like 6x9 mailers to print them was like $600, and then it'll probably be like $800 to ship through the post office. So for $1,400, literally you can have one patient come in and pay for the whole thing.
Lifetime value of
Right.
Right. So the three things I break down with everybody in a first meeting is what's your cost per lead? Most people don't know that.
Mhm.
What's your cost per acquisition? Most people don't know that. But that one they might know more than the other two. And then lifetime value of a customer, or patient, or client, whatever you
Right.
call it. So for dental, your wife's very good, and she's very gregarious on top of that. Like
Mhm.
she's a good personality. I assume most people, I guess it's called recidivism. Whatever your return rate, I bet it's really high.
Yeah.
Your customer loyalty, your
Yes.
patient loyalty. Excuse me.
Yes. Usually, if somebody comes in for Nikki, they stay.
Right. So there's that break-in command of like that chain of your marketing funnel. What along the process do we need to improve? All right.
Mhm.
We need to get people through the door just to meet Nikki. Once they meet Nikki, Dr. Nikki, you'll probably have them.
Right.
Unless people move, which is going to happen, you're going to have 10% attrition of just stuff.
Well, that was kind of what I was talking about with the call routing stuff in terms of new patients calling in. That's a huge thing for us. We're just trying to get that nailed down so that
Right.
we can. I mean,
And think about it this
they're
way.
all there.
And
It's happening.
please hear me if you're listening to this and you're really trying to take this advice, because this frustrates me to no end. I'm guilty of this before as well. Here's the thing: the better analytics you have on your marketing spend and the cost per all this stuff, those three benchmarks, the better you know that, the tighter you know by going through the whole flow of how that person got to you. And it's never going to be one thing usually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe for your instance, you got to look at the kind of industry you're in. You're a local small business, you're new, and so the mailers make sense
Right.
because people that don't have a dentist, they will go check out any dentist because the trust is already there that you're a doctor.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it before, but for dentists, older people are the ones who have the high dollar mouth issues, and they actually show up for the appointments.
And the number one like demographic to hit is older people. I don't know why people keep telling me about branding to younger people. We're not in that game. That's a
No,
long game. You're Pepsi, you spend all this money to get kids to like Pepsi when they're little so that they'll be Pepsi lovers forever.
right. Yeah,
We don't do that. That's not our world at all. Like
No.
that is big brands. That's we're small medium business. We're about like
we want you to get too big for us.
yeah, we just handed off a client, and said everyone has an exit, and if we can't partner to get you to the next level, I'm gonna make sure we're gonna send you to someone that's bigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's like an agent.
yeah, it's the flow.
An agent does that in sports or entertainment.
Mhm.
They get you to a certain part, and they go, "We can't get you to that next level with the resources we have.
Yeah,
We're not a big agency."
and if you try and latch on and you don't have the resources, it works itself out usually.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean. But to me, I heard this from a boss a bunch: is always treat everybody on the exit as well as you do on the entry.
Sure,
So don't.
especially for us.
Yeah, man, and it's come back to help. It really is some of the best advice I've ever had.
Well, yeah, like a big part of what we do is the how to do these easy things on Squarespace so that you can manage your own website going forward. And
Oh, no one
that-
does that shit. No one
No,
gives
no.
video tutorials of how to do basic shit that you can learn about the site you just paid for
right,
and transfer it over to you.
yeah.
I make a big deal now of like, okay, see this? This is the ownership part.
I mean, I think
This is yours.
yeah. I think it's the number one thing that we offer is the empowerment of being your own webmaster.
I think
sort of thing.
I think philosophically, morally, to me, it's about doing the right thing
Yeah,
and giving people the property they think they own when they sign with you, right?
pretty basic idea.
What we're talking about, if anybody's lost, is there's a bunch of WordPress hacks out there or SEO companies that'll sign you, and you won't own what you're paying them for.
Yeah, they'll hold you hostage. They'll hold your property hostage.
So you just built a house. I always use this. You just paid some guys to build you a house, except they own the house.
And they're
now
living
you just-
upstairs.
You lease it, yeah. And they're having parties and shit.
And they've got all the keys.
They always walk in the attic where they live. They're
Mhm.
always walking in right out of the shower. They don't dry off enough, and they're always leaking water downstairs. Like
And you have to wait for them to answer the door.
right, and you're like,
You don't have
"Hey,
your own keys.
Pablo, what's up, man? What's going on? Why is there always water dripping down?"
Can I come into my own house?
And he's like, "Well, you got to pay us monthly
Yeah. Mm.
for what? Maintenance. But I
Yeah.
don't see you do anything."
Trust me, it's all back end, very technical coding and whatnot. It's
But
like,
when
bitch.
but didn't I just pay you for a bunch of that?
Yeah. Well, it's
Thought it was
an
hosting.
ongoing, it's an ongoing process, SEO and whatnot.
So wait-
It takes 6 months to work, and
So wait, I
we're
just
gonna-
paid you to build something that I have to lease out now?
Yeah, but it doesn't really work that way. We really need to
Well-
keep you on retainer because in case something goes wrong, technically, you won't be able to
But
handle it.
your
so.
cousin's in the crawl space. Like, what?
Yeah,
Am I
well-
paying him? What's going on?
Don't worry about our finances on our side. We've been doing this for a long time here, so we just gotta move on.
This guy
and
doesn't
keep
even look
paying
like
me.
he works for you. He's just your buddy. So it's a lot like that. Look at us improving, huh? I don't think we've ever naturally done that.
It was real natural.
Well, we I had to. One of us had to become a character to the other. But I'm glad you took those improv classes.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying like I came in with a full head of steam because I was already pissed about. I don't like. And we'll get back to the mailers, but I fucking really hate anybody that is in our industry, marketing or otherwise, or sales, that goes, you hire us, we're going to get you X amount back.
Yeah.
Almost nothing in life is deterministic like that.
Yeah.
Anything that has risk, you've heard risk reward, but there's almost no such thing as even a T-bill, right? A treasury bill, the most boring of boring, lowest risk thing you can invest your money in.
Mhm.
That's not even deterministic
Yeah.
either.
And
If the country goes down, you don't get it. So
yeah,
there is that.
do you think they're just making up these numbers? If they give out these, well, we're going to get X this, X that, and then if they don't get it,
Oh,
they could just fabricate it.
This
and
is why
never...
we suck at business development, because we won't do that, and that is the trick to get people to sign. Right?
Guarantees.
And you churn is what they call it.
Yeah.
You have client churn in our business. They don't care though.
It's like the therapy gimmick.
What?
Getting churned
I haven't heard
on a
that.
therapy.
Oh, you just go through therapists?
No, I mean just saying like a therapist doesn't want you to get better. They want you to keep coming
right,
back.
right. Yeah, it's like
We'll explore more of that next week.
it's like the Amazon out of stock. It's or forced obsolescence of bad products.
Right.
Or Amazon has that out of stock thing that's artificial. Artificial scarcity.
Yeah. So what you're saying?
Look at us throwing big terms.
That's not real. They just say because I saw something the other day. I was like, only 3 left in stock. I'm like,
so I think
shut
it's
up,
real.
Amazon.
So I think it's real in the sense that wherever that's housed, that primary place, the distribution, I think that is almost out of stock in that place.
Yeah.
But they only keep 10 on hand. So
Yeah.
there's another facility nearby.
Yeah, with 9 million.
So they can say that.
Yeah.
That's my without looking it up. That's how I think that's how that goes.
Gotta scare people, man.
They have to legally be able to say that. But if they say this is our primary warehouse where this thing's stored for it to be shipped out through Amazon, but they could literally have another warehouse 5 feet away
Yeah.
that has a lot more of it.
Yeah, or the manufacturing facility sitting
Because
right
that sense of urgency makes people buy and scarcity and all that stuff. So fear of missing out, all that stuff. But the I will never ever go, you spend this much money in ads or you spend this much money on us in managed services, you're gonna get this back. Everything has a sweet spot in life, I think. Nothing should be deterministic. You make a business plan. Part of the fun of getting paid for a business plan is like it's a theory. It's not.
Yeah.
It's forecasting as best you can.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm not going to be held to performance of it.
Yeah.
As long as what I did with research is salient, and the way I procure the forecasting numbers was done through good research. As long as I did that part, but part of that fun for me is that I don't have to worry about like KPIs or benchmarks or any of that.
Right.
So.
But that's what people want.
Well, that's how you sell it, right? And when
Yeah.
you do, this is what our industry does, and I hate it because online shows you estimates. If you ever done a Facebook boost ad, right, on your page, a lot of people have done it, and it's a good way to kind of dip your toe into that world of advertising online. It's very basic. I call it elementary school.
Yeah. It walks you through it for sure.
Right. If you need more, but if you really want to do it, you need to go in the ads manager,
business manager.
Right. And you can get way more detail. But that boost, it'll show you how many impressions it sees.
Right.
It's reach, which is a funny way of saying it because the ubiquitous term is impressions. So we put a boost ad for $5, 1,000 to 6,000 people are going to see it, right?
Right.
But that doesn't mean how many people are going to video
engage
view
with it
over 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So back to direct mailers, you're going to do how many thousands?
5,000.
So if we get 1% back,
50 people.
Our goal is to get one new person out of that, right? And
I mean,
you break even.
Yeah, we actually haven't determined the lifetime cost or
it's tough
of a patient. It is.
You're gonna have to do that using other people's info
for sure,
or buy some market research. Or
exactly. I was gonna say because to really get a feel for it, man, you got to really get a lot of data. And being new business owners, we don't have time to procure all that.
So if you're feeling overwhelmed, one thing I do, and I'm guilty of that as well, and I try to stop now and I go, okay, let's just throw a number out there of horse sense. What do I think that if you know generally what someone will bring in here as a new patient for the year, all right, we'll just times that by 10 years or something.
Yeah.
They probably. What do you think? People stick around with a dentist 7-10 years, probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's
Maybe
hard to say. I haven't paid that much attention to it for that long.
Or if you're hitting old people, they're gonna die, so it's gonna average out.
Yeah, but
know,
they're also the
people
ones
move.
coming in paying for it too.
Health insurance or dental insurance will move them around. I don't know.
Basically, yeah. The idea though is that we don't need many to pay off the cost. I mean, we get 3 new patients out of it. Money, that's great.
And your time is inherited in this too. So there's that implied cost.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, I'm in-house marketing and every admin position there is, so it's like,
Sure, but then you'll eventually, when you get more data, when you get more numbers to put in there, I don't want to say data because that scares people, I think. I want to say, like, when you have your price per hour of how many hours you spend, right? Because eventually, if you are doing 100 hours a week for that business for 5 years, then you haven't really scaled properly in your time. So it's that thing of like, where are you spending your time?
yeah,
How do you lower that? The next time you do a mailer, it's going to be easier.
for sure. Yeah.
So everything, my theory of everything you do for the first time sucks.
Every time you there's never any failures. Even if you don't do what you're trying to do, like just the learning process of it helps.
Like even
now
getting
I know how
your
to
first BJ is terrifying.
Yeah.
That's my go-to.
Yeah.
For the extreme sides of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like, oh,
the
I don't
best
know.
thing
Do
ever.
I say thank you?
Right. Yeah.
Do
Now
I
lost
kiss you
my
on
train of
the
thought.
forehead?
Yeah.
What do I? Do you need a mint?
Let me save you.
That's the 2-minute warning.
Oh no, it's just
Oh, you're gonna just keep going then.
I could tag this for 2 minutes.
What was that? I don't know. Mailers.
Do you want the doggy bag?
We're talking about doing more than one set of mailers. Like, how often? I mean, I don't know if we should be doing it like
Sorry about your scrunchie.
4 weeks out.
Uh-huh.
That we should just boom hit them with another one. I don't know. What do you think?
Just use horse sense. Let's talk it out. I mean, like, if you're the target audience. By the way, before we even got into any of that, you got to do target audience first. If you're in an industry, you might be able to buy home addresses of people that just moved here. Like those lists and email lists exist. So,
yeah, but that's what I was
but
so
you've gotta-
excited about the direct mail through the post
right.
office thing.
But
It's
I'm
like,
saying if you're a lawyer, we have a friend of the program that does really well with mailers. He's for speeding tickets,
yeah,
and he buys that list every month or something like that
right.
to send out to their home address.
Yeah, he's got it tougher. I mean, he's got to do a lot more targeting. I mean, he could just do what we're doing, but I don't know if that's cost effective.
But dentists have more loyalty, I think, than an attorney that does speeding tickets.
Right.
Because a lot of people will rep themselves.
Yeah,
And
or
that-
just pay
for,
it.
for small claims.
Yeah.
Or not small claims, petty, whatever.
Petty court,
Yeah. Speed traffic.
petty. Well,
And for
really.
him on the operation side, it's awesome because he just goes in with a stack of like, here you go, here you go, here you go. Here
The
you go,
math
here you
on
go.
those things never added up to me. It's like, okay, I gotta pay a lawyer.
He doesn't have to show up it's not like he sporadically shows up for every client.
I'm talking about the people paying the lawyer.
No,
So-
because your insurance, that's the deal. Like if you get the points,
Oh, to get
yeah.
the points off.
especially if you've had it a couple times. So
Okay.
what do you think? What do you think? If you do a mailer, you should give it if we get X amount of responses out of that,
Yeah,
because you need to know if it worked at all.
right, exactly. Yeah, we got
before you send the
to
second one.
a lot of. I mean, that's a big thing too. Like,
Then you got design. That's another part too. Is it going to catch your eye?
right. I showed it to you, didn't I? Maybe I
Yeah,
didn't.
we were trying to figure out what best picture. I said, put one with glasses on.
Yeah, we went with the no glasses. So it's
good.
hotter with them
It's
without
good-
the
it's
glasses
good-
on.
It feels good to be heard.
Next month we'll do your picture.
I bet it's just a tiny bit better, but I mean, whatever.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if we're gonna do multiple months, then we're gonna need lots of pictures.
So break down your marketing tactics into big 3 buckets. You got your audience budget. You've got you've got You got budget and objective. You got audience targeting, and then you've got creative.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Those are the three.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm just trying to leave everybody with something poignant before you hit the outro.
Okay.
Because it's got to be 2 minutes back.
Yes, it has been. You've been bloviating.
Oh,
What
me?
about my sweat equity? Sweat equity.
Thanks for listening.
Sweat equity. My
Tell a
sweat
friend
equity.
about this podcast. Tell that friend that
Sweat
is doing their own
equity.
Etsy store or Shopify thing.
SweatEquityPod.com. Intro music's only 20 seconds long, so we don't have a lot of time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
What about my sweat equity?